You hear this a lot from academics that 9/11 is such an incredibly horrible event, even though it may be an inside job. The group politic can't deal with the horror this real. Well, there's an old saying the founding fathers had, and your question's very good and we duly noted. Consequence belongs to God. Duty belongs to us. And so, it's like the federal judge said, hey, these Abu Ghraib photos, I order them released. The White House is going to appeal it. But you know what? If these guys are selling torture and selling it as how great it is, the next thing is sliced bread, then we should see it. And so I'm not worried about what comes out of what we do. I know the history shows standing up to tyranny, having courage, standing up to tyrants scares the next pack of tyrants. And I know this pack of tyrants is bringing in the North American Union. And so I see this as a way to discredit the entire system. The left thinks big government's going to save you. The problem with that is, in a perfect world it would. The problem is sociopathic control freaks who want power are going to seize control of any lever you build and use it against you. And most welfare is already corporate to begin with. It's the big corporations lobbying for big government. And then conservatives think that basically there was an immaculate conception of every corporation, that they're as pure as the driven snow, even though they're bigger than most governments, and they should just be left completely alone to run rampant like a bunch of 21st century robber barons. We need to get way past all that and get back to local community control, back to the Bill of Rights, and restore the Constitution, exactly. And start, we send a few hundred of these corporate heads to prison, we hang a bunch of them high for treason, and this stuff's going to stop. But I would, you talk about something backfiring, and that's important. What will backfire is offensive violence. You think the New World Order cares about their police, their military? They'd love it if one of us went into a military barracks and shot 50 troops, okay, and said, because you're terrorists and you're carpet bombing countries with depleted uranium. They'll win doing stuff like that. That's why they do stuff like that themselves. The reporter in Russia reporting on how they staged the Beslan school massacre, got whacked. We need to be nonviolent, but up to a point. By nonviolent, I mean don't offensively go out and look for a fight. Don't go out and pick fights. Don't go out and don't think every cop's evil, every person in the military is evil. They're just brainwashed, and a lot of them are waking up. We have to have it in the position of, though, the next time they pull a Waco and the BATF puts their hands up, okay, the next time they attack us, you see, you have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run, that old song. I mean, if Army trucks are driving around Central Texas one day because the great leader says we're rounding up the terrorists, and they're shipping people off to FEMA camps, the Houston Chronicles reported Bush is building. And it was funded in the new Military Authorization Act of 2007. And if that's going on, number one, most of those troops are going to stop following orders. Number two, if you think I'm going to let my family be sent off to a place where the Army, memos they're given say torture children, you got another thing coming. So I don't even see that as quote, violent. That is defensive. And no one can say that we can't defend ourselves. It's like the old flag they had in the Revolutionary War of a rattlesnake. Don't tread on me. Or it's like a porcupine. I mean, a porcupine's not a mean animal. It's just saying, listen, don't bite me. You're not going to like what happens. Or, it's like a little poisonous frog who, if you try to eat him, you're going to get real sick. So we should never go out and start fights. We should never go out and play their game. But I don't follow the exact, idea of Gandhi of letting them beat you in the head with 2x4s, because they just won't show that on the news, or they'll say you deserved it, or they'll claim you assaulted the 2x4 with your head and charge you with it. That's the thing. You get beat up, and then they charge you with assaulting them when the camera shows you didn't do it. So my point is, if stuff really gets dark and really gets bad, I'm a big follower of what Alexander Solzhenitsyn said, who, of course, was in the concentration camps and the gulags, forced labor camps himself. And he said, to paraphrase it, I can't say it as well as he did, but to paraphrase, he said, what would have happened? And he was talking about Stalingrad during the late 50s when they would round up thousands of people a night. And he said, what would have happened when the secret police units went out at night to go into the houses and grab people, and we would have waited for them in the alleyways with our pitchforks and our hatchets and our butcher knives. And I assure you, very, very fast, folks, if they really get into a secret police mode and they're doing stuff like that, you don't want to go to one of those camps. And I'm sorry we have to sit here and talk about it. It's in the Houston Chronicle. They're building camps. These people aren't playing games, folks. They're not playing games. And just a few more questions, and I'll sign some of Terror Storm.
First, I'd like to say thank you for being here, Alex, and for all you do.
No, thank you all. Thank you. You're great. You're great.
I try to inform myself the best I can, but I'd like to know what else I can do locally because I'm not willing to wait for another Waco to happen.
Yeah, amen. Yeah.
Well, we're doing what we're doing locally right here. Look at us. We're here in the hottest music and video store in town, right in the center of Austin, Texas, Waterloo. And they're here with us. They're carrying Terror Storm. They're here supporting what we're doing in solidarity with us against this tyranny. And listen, their bark's bigger than its bite. They can sit there and swagger around and claim their emperors and claim their gods. They're falling right now. They're in deep trouble right now. The people know what they are right now. Michael Rivero, WhatReallyHappened.com, says it well. He says, make dictators act like dictators. So reach out to those you can reach out to. Speak truth to power, but more than just speaking truth to power. The power, as I heard one statesman say, knows the truth and it knows it's enslaving us. Speak truth to the general public that isn't aware of what's happening, who isn't aware of what's going on. And start your own website, start your own newsletter, start your own Access TV show. A lot of you are smarter than I am. Make your own 9/11 videos. Hell, because government-sponsored terror is the foundation of what these criminals are doing. Government-sponsored terrorism, terrorism staged by elements of government, not our whole government, elements of it, is the underpinning. It's the reason they do everything they do. I'm sure a lot of you heard the radio show the last few days, where up in Michigan, in Wyoming, Michigan, not to be confused with Wyoming the state, they did something they do every day around the country. The police went in to the middle school, unannounced, they ran it in full gear, screaming, putting MP5 submachine guns to children's heads. Now, I assure you, if I was sitting as an adult in a classroom, maybe defensive driving, and I don't think I've ever done that, like 5 or 6 times. No, but let's say I'm sitting in there, and 20 armed men with machine guns run in and start screaming at me. I'd have a big adrenaline rush. I'd get upset. If I knew it was coming, I could handle it. But just, and all over the country, there's federal grants where they run in, unannounced. Well, the Road to Tyranny had a clip of like 3rd grade children crying, and they're screaming, pointing guns, and it's a drill. And the police told the Associated Press, well, it's a federal grant, and we did it because we're not supposed to warn them, so it's more real.
What's it for?
And this went on for 45 minutes. They were all soiling themselves. I talked to some of the parents, and they're all admitting it was, and in some areas of the country, they come and throw fake buckets of blood on them. Folks, I know some of you are doubting me. You can Google search this. Somebody's saying, why? It's trauma-based mind control. The Soviets would get you in an old sports stadium and have just like in Red Dawn. That's what a real re-education center. Remember, they're like, America is a pig, Thomas Jefferson is an oinker. That's low-grade type re-education center, okay? With the movie screen and the stuff flashing and beating people up. Real re-education centers are our schools now, where they run in on elementary students and middle school students and line them up, get up against the wall, and the kids are soiling themselves. When they have school lockdowns, they have to go to the bathroom in the trash baskets. You don't believe me? It's mainstream news. But it's how good it is. Well, it's good. We had a lockdown drill, and they had to stay 8 hours in the same classroom. We're teaching them what it's like when the terrorists attack. That teaches children to be anti-gun. Now they're going to be brainwashed to hate guns and have fear. Now they're going to be brainwashed how to be lemmings. It's like training an animal for the Roman Colosseum to roll over, when the centurions come in, when the gladiators come in. It's basically conditioning with trauma-based mind control our children to be abused, and it's the police setting the precedent that they can treat our children like slaves, and that they have that power to engage in terrorism. So yes, all over this country, even before 9/11, they do drills where they terrorize small children in the schools, and it's wrong. So